Welcome to Vedic Mathematics Basis Base Values classes. We are continuing with text formulations. In this phase 5, the focus is upon text formulations of the text of sutras and upsutras. We can recapitulate that this text is the text of 29 sutras and upsutras. Each sutra and each upsutra is a complete text, and Ekadhikain Purve is the complete text of Ganita Sutra 1, and it is a composition of a pair of formulations, Ekadhikain and Purve. Like that, we are having as many as 46 formulations. 46 words formulations are there, and then each word formulation is having sub-formulations, and from the sub-formulations we reach at the mathematical tools. This text as it is availing in all 515 letters, and these 515 letters from its first letter O to the last letter Visarjaniya is making a sequence of 529 steps. This sequence of 519 steps is in fact availing only 36 letters. Therefore, the basic structural components, the basic constituents, the basic values being availed are of the 36 letters, and these 36 letters are in fact availing only the values range 1 to 13, as out of the 50 letters of Devanagari alphabet, these particular 3 values are being not availed. The last letter, the letter with the biggest TCV value being availed by this particular text is 13. We shall make a specific entry in our TCV dictionary that the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras is a text of 29 sutras, 29 hymns, 25 structural compositions, and each of the text of the sutra and upsutras makes a complete scripture. When we say that this makes a complete scripture, that means Ekadhikain Purve is a complete scripture of complete mathematical domain. Ekadhikain Purve is a complete mathematical domain. It is the domain which has independent existence. Its mathematical domain is independent domain, and it is this domain which is to be worked, and like that we will be working out 16 mathematical domains. These mathematical domains are interconnected, interlinked, and these get integrated, these get sequentially integrated, and it makes an integrated mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras. Ganita Upsutras in fact bridge the gaps between the sutras. The gap between Sutra 1 and Sutra 2 is filled by the Ganita Upsutra 1. So Ganita Upsutra 1 in fact is having a placement here. It is bridging the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra 1 and Ganita Sutra 2. Like that, these sutras, as far as the up till this particular stage is there, these are sequentially available. But these values of the mathematical domains of sutras 8 and 9, these two are not having a gap. It is the feature. It is this feature which we shall specifically comprehend as value 8 is of organization 2 raised to power 3, and value 9 is of organization 3 raised to power 2. It is vertical pairing. It is this vertical pairing feature which shall be specifically comprehended and appreciated, and that is why the Ganita Upsutras are required for bridging the other gaps. But as far as the sutras 15 and 16 are there, these are having as well, or also not having the gap. We will look into it. Therefore, the last Upsutra 13, will be making the bridging of the gaps. It is there. So like that, make an entry that the gap between Ganita Sutra 1 and Ganita Sutra 2 is bridged by Ganita Sutra 1. Between 2 and 3, the bag will be 3. Like that, up till 7, it will be there. 7 and 8, it will be there. But 8 and 9, they bridge themselves. It is this bridging themselves, it is this feature, it is this organization, it is this structural component, it is this structural organization of this particular text which is to be seen specifically, to be imbibed specifically. And step ahead, we have seen these sutras 8 onwards will be filling these gaps. But we have to be careful here to find it out that Sutra 10 as well makes a class in itself, as it is a structure of only 9 letters. Complete text of Ganita Sutra 10 is a scripture of 9 letters. But we can recapitulate that the process steps range of this up till this particular sutra of this mathematical domain is to be in terms of 10 letters. There are only 9 letters in the text, so the 10th letter is made available when it is put in a circular form. When this system transits and the first letter becomes again available, it is this cyclic order, it is this organization feature which is a very beautiful feature here. And the feature here in this particular formulation is that this organization is having this value here, a feature of 8. We will see subsequently how the value 8, how the artifices of this particular number are inherently available in Vyasti Samishti form, in the localized and in the universal structures, in a part and a whole. But we will come into these aspects subsequently. At present, we are focusing upon the text formulations. Our main focus is to reach at the mathematical tools being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutra, in terms of which basic mathematical tools this mathematical domain is being worked out, on what structural foundation, with what structural components, and with what mathematical tools. This mathematical domain is ultimately going to be worked, to be chased, to be availed, to be projected, and to be reached at the end values. In the last previous lecture, we had been exposed to some of the categories, some of the mathematical tools which were classified, and among us that we can recapitulate that the first class of single entry of mathematical tools is Varga. Varga is actually square. Square is a representative regular body of 2 space. But the TCV value of this formulation is 14. This value 14 is nothing but a 4-fold manifestation layer. This 4-fold manifestation layer is of hypercube 4. It is the representative regular body of a 4 space. Representative regular body of a 4 space. Therefore, this mathematical tool, this structural foundation, this structural component is taking us to that among us these all bodies, only this body of hypercube 4 is being availed. Hypercube 4, the representative regular body of 4 space, this representative regular body of 4 space is being availed by the text of the Ganita Sutras and Upsutra. All other bodies from 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6, these are being not availed. That means it is upon the format of hypercube 4 of 4 space creates a space that whole of the structure, whole of the structural components, entire mathematical process is to be worked out upon the basis of this Varga concept. Second thing which we had noticed in the previous lecture was that among us the values of the range 0 to 10, only these 7 values are being availed, We can recapitulate. Shunya is available in Sutra 5, Ek is available in Sutra 1, Dvay is available in Sutra 13, 7 is available in Upsutra 4, 8 is available in Vyasti Samasti Sutra 11, 9 and 10 are available in Sutra 2. Therefore, the focus here had been that the values 3, 4, 5 and 6 are being not availed. That means it is being availed as a transcendental base of the creator's space. The mathematical domain of the Ganita Sutras is being availed with a structural foundation of hypercube 4 of a spatial order, Varga, square, two-space body in the role of spatial order, making and taking us to hypercube 4, representative regular body of 4 space is being availed as the structural foundation. We can make an entry in our TCV dictionary that the structural foundation of the text of Ganita Sutra and Upsutras, and as such of the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra and Upsutras is creator's space, 4 space. We can further recapitulate that the Sthapatya measuring rod, which is a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 as a representative regular bodies of 1 space to 6 space, is presided by Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is the overlord of 6 space. Therefore, the overlord of 6 space is the presiding deity of this Sthapatya measuring rod. However, the mayor of this measuring rod is presided by Brahma, Lord Brahma, creator the supreme, the four-head Lord. This is four-head Lord is the presiding deity of the mayor. Therefore, the Vedic systems specifically have a separate processing values formats for the rod, means the domain, as well as for the mayor. It is this feature which shall be made specific entry in the TCV dictionary, and it shall be comprehended very well, thoroughly, complete imbibing of the values of this distinction between the domain and the dimensional frame. 6 space as domain is having worked out in terms of the creative dimensional frame. 4 space in the role of dimension is being worked out, is being availed by the mathematics on the format of hypercube 6. We can recapitulate that first letter of Ganita Sutra 1 is of value 6, second letter Ka Brahma is of value 4, and the third letter is of value 2. Let us revisit this formulation Varga. Varga means a square. It means a 2 space, the representative regular body of 2 space. This representative regular body of 2 space is in the role of dimension of dimension. Therefore, the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras is in fact chasing particular domain at the dimension of dimension level. Let us have a pause here. Let us make a specific entry. Let us be very specific in our TCB dictionary that mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra and Upsutras, which is on the format of a 4 space, is in fact working from the stage of dimension of a dimension. So the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras is a domain which chases in terms of dimension of dimension. The starting point comes to be the dimension of a dimension. We have to begin with, we have to start our initiation point. Our starting processing stage is the stage of a dimension of a dimension. From dimension of a dimension, we reach at the domain itself. And then from domain means as a dimension. Domain in the role of a dimension is the another feature. We start with dimension of a dimension. We reach up till the domain, which is in fact is a dimension. So from dimension of a dimension, we reach at a dimension, and from dimension we reach back the domain. It is this feature, it is this value it is this organization, it is this processing step of 6, which we know is the letter Sha in Devanagari alphabet. This 4 is the letter Ri. This letter 2 is value E. It in a cyclic order gives us Rishi, which means sheer. This Rishi, we sadhakas, anxious, desirous, fulfilled with the intensity of urge, to be parallel to the values and features of the processing steps of Ganita Sutras, mathematics, then we have to be seer, we have to be Rishi. We have to acquire that mental state. Our mental state shall be of the order of a Rishi, means one who can glimpse starting from dimension of dimension level and then reaching at the dimension level and then reaching at the domain level. It is how we will be transcending within the 6-space domain. It is how we will be transcending within the Surya, the solar universe, the sun. Sun as a body of 6-space domain. Sun of the format of hypercube 6 as a domain will permit us to dive within, to transcend within, or to transcend away. It would be of the stage of dimension, 2 dimension to the domain. And in the reverse process, we will be starting with 6-space domain, reaching at creative dimension, then reaching at spatial dimension of a dimension. Once these features are properly comprehended and appreciated, then for it, let us make another chapter in our TCV dictionary as to how the Devanagari alphabet format. This Devanagari alphabet format is of 9 vowels, 25 Varga consonants, 4 Anthastha letters, 4 Ushmana letters, and 8 Yama letters. These give us actually the values range 1 to 16. However, the 36 letters which are being availed by the text of the Sutras and Upsutras, this text of Sutras and Upsutras are availing only 36 letters. We have to mark those letters. But the biggest thing to be seen, the first thing to be seen, basic thing to be imbibed, basic thing to be have an appreciation, it is the Visarjaniya. The Visarjaniya is availed. This is availed as the last letter of the text. This Visarjaniya is being availed. However, these 3 formulations, these 3 letters are being not availed by the text. Why these are being not availed? Because actually these things are to be worked out. 14 is the value of hypercube 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 is the transcendental dimension, solid dimensional order at the place of a origin. And 16 is when this domain will split and its origin is out. It is this feature, when its origin will be out, it will be 16. Actually, the ultimate reach of the processing steps of the mathematical domain in terms of the letters availed, which will be taking us up till the value 13, will be for working out these domains of these particular letters. So it shall be made a specific entry in our TCV dictionary that the text of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras is availing only 36 letters, and the values range, TCV values range of these letters is from 1 to 13. But the values range of the Devanagari alphabet is 1 to 16. Out of this 1 to 16, these 14, 15 and 16 values, TCV values, are being not availed. Therefore, the structural format, the values artifices format available is 1 to 13, and in terms thereof, the triple values 4, 14, 15 and 16 are to be worked out, and value 14 is equal to the transcendental code value 14 is of the organization 2, 3, 4 and 5, which is of hypercube 4. It is 4th space, and the value 15 will take us as a 5 as the origin, solid order origin, and a step ahead. When this origin will be out, origin of a origin will be out. That means when this origin, the origin of a origin, now we are starting with 4 space, which is worked out as a 4-fold dimensional range, and then we will be reaching at the transcendental origin, 5 space as origin of a 4 space. It would be a solid order. Therefore, it will be making 3 into 5, 1 into 3 into 5, a 15 as a value, transcendental value. And step ahead, when this 5 space itself, which is having a self-referral origin, 6 space as the origin. It is this 6 space as the origin. When we will come out of it, it will be giving us the value 5, 6 and 5. These are actually the features which will ultimately take us to how this existence phenomenon of our solar universe, including the existence phenomenon of a life, of a soul, Atma, within this body, Sharir, and as a G of value 16 is actually reviving itself. How there is a Punarjanam. We will come into this particular aspect, but here it would be blissful to note that the values range 1 to 13 means the Upsutras. That means the Upsutras are bridging, filling the gaps, making an integrated mathematical domain. And this mathematical domain is of value 16. So this feature also be basically made entry in our TCB dictionary. One shall sit comfortably, revisit these particular features and express oneself fully as a complete full expression note. One shall give a complete full expression note of one's insight and one's enlightenment of the values and features of this organization of the text of Ganita Sutras 29. And this text of Ganita Sutras 29, when will take us to value 29, it is equal to the TCV value of Brahma. Therefore, the organization feature here, when we say that this text is manifesting within Varga or within the 4 space format or within a creator space, then it is manifesting as 29. This value 29 deserves to be seen further that it is equal to the TCB value of Visfort. Visfort, explosion, split, catastrophe. It is this feature which in fact is being not comprehended, imbibed and availed by the modern mathematical system. It is why, by not taking this particular aspect, that the modern mathematics has surrendered before physics, before chemistry, biology, and the universal existence phenomenon of our solar universe and the existence phenomenon within human body, because of which within a one lifespan, one because of one's karma and one's existence phenomenon and the way of attainment of the existence phenomenon will decide whether there would be recycling process or not. And if this recycling process would be there, whether there will be punarjanam, there would be birth, death, rebirth, whether this cycle would be there or not. And from here, when we will be availing as a TCV values, when we will be availing the transcendental code values, when we will be availing the science and technology, mathematics, science and technology, when we will be entering this particular discipline, then we will be chasing the vegetations. We will be availing seed, tree and seed, the one generation seed to another generation seed. It is this chase when we will be having, then we will be knowing the potentialities of the mathematical formats of the Ganita Sutras. The mathematics of Ganita Sutras is a very big mathematical domain. It is a very rich mathematical domain, and it is this rich mathematical domain which deserves to be imbibed fully. And once this initial comprehension and insight is available, then we shall start revisiting the text by taking single letter formulations, pair of letters formulations, triple letters formulations and reaching up till the 24 letters formulations as these are, and then from these word formulations we'll be reaching at sub formulations, and then we'll be reaching at structural formats, then we'll be reaching at the mathematical formulations, then we'll be reaching at mathematical tools. Now in the previous lesson we have enlisted some of the mathematical tools, but now a step ahead, one shall sit comfortably and revisit this particular text. But then one will be seeing it that when we'll go to Ekadhike Purve, it gives a sequential progression. When we'll reach to Anurupe, it gives us a proportionality and a symmetry. But these two sutras and Upsutra, when are read together, it make a one integrated mathematical process, a mathematical formulation, mathematical sequencing. It is this sequencing of the mathematical tools which is to be learned, which is to be imbibed. The sequencing of the mathematical tools, mathematical format, mathematical processing steps of Ganita Sutra 1 are to be complemented with the two mathematical tools, formulations and processing steps of Ganita Sutra 1. It is this complementation, it is this augmentation, it is this integration which is to be learned for carrying forward the pure values for their applied values. The reaching from pure values to applied values is in fact of a feature that the mathematical tools as processing steps are integrated. In fact, the mathematical tools themselves sequenced. It is this sequencing of the mathematical tools for which we have to learn how the gap between the pair of sutras will be fulfilled by the Upsutra. A jump ahead, when we will go into the Niklam Navasta Charmam, it will be giving us a 10-place value system. Initially we were sequentially progressing. We were not having refolding process. We never stopped. These were not only reaching up till finite steps, if it didn't go infinitely, but that working with infinite steps is a thing which is not mathematically operatable, manageable, chaseable system. So the beauty of the Ganita Sutras is that it tries to work in terms of finite steps. So infinity is going to be unfolded. Let us revisit the word infinity. It is infinite. We are infinite. So finite is having infinite within. So we shall make a specific entry in our TCB dictionary of the mathematical domain processing steps of the Ganita Sutras as that the Ganita Sutra 1 together with Ganita Upsutra 1 is taking us to such a format that instead of going in infinite steps, sequentially infinite steps, we can have the folds with finite steps to be of repeated frequency. These finite steps to be of repeated frequency is called a number value systems as 10-place value system. So here it remains a range from 0 to 9 only, and then we go to place value system. It is this transition, it is this attainment, it is this achievement which deserves to be comprehended well. This is how the sequencing of mathematical tools of the mathematics of the Ganita Sutras text are to be imbibed, are to be chased. This sequencing of the mathematical tools in terms of the processing steps of mathematical domains of infinite range are to be worked in finite steps, chasing infinity in finite steps. So the beautiful word infinite. Infinite means infinite. So finite is having within it at something which makes it infinite. This is here wherefrom we will be reaching at when we are at a 3-space domain, when we are at hypercube 3, then its center, its origin is of a dual status. because it becomes a seat of fourth space. It takes to spatial order. It was of a linear order. Therefore, linear order automatically transits and transforms into spatial order. It is this transition and transformation of the linear order to a spatial order is the sequencing. It is this sequencing that from linear order we will go into spatial order. From spatial orders we will go into the solid order. From there to the creative order. From there to the transcendental order. Then the self-referral order, unity state order, natural order, Brahman order, and even beyond that the Parabrahma order. It is this inner folding, it is this sequential reaching at when we will be having in terms of Ganita Sutra 2 along with Shishyate Sangha, it will help us to reach at the third Udharvatiriyak Dhyam with Adi Adhe Antim Ante. So if we are having two intervals, maybe of any lengths, may be equal, may not be equal, when we will be having beginning with the beginning, end with the end, then both are infinity. Because that infinity range, both would be available, but how to chase them in finite step would we go at a middle of both. It is going a middle at a both, so infinity, infinite steps, again taken to middle points, in both the cases, how it works, how it takes us to, where it takes us to, how far is the attainment and a breakthrough when we reach from the mathematics of Ganita Sutra 1 coupled with Ganita Sutra 1 to mathematics of mathematics 2 along with the mathematics of Ganita Sutra 2 and transition therefrom to reach at the text of Ganita Sutra 3, mathematics of Ganita Sutra 3 along with the mathematics of Ganita of Sutra 3. Like that, we have to sequentially reach up till Ganita Sutra 60. It is a big reach. It is a long reach. It is really a breakthrough. It is an attainability. It is to be attained. Sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity effort shall revisit the organization from all these aspects to which one stands exposed up till this time, and then to complement, supplement, update all the tabulations of the features. First step would be that one shall tabulate the enlistment of the mathematical tools. Revisit it. We will get a large number of mathematical tools which are being availed because one is exposed to a particular mathematical working domain, and so only those mathematical tools would be coming and conceived and coming to a light. However, when we will be proceeding further to the mathematical domain being explored by this sutra, then when we will be transcending ahead of the vectors, when we are transcending ahead of Meyer theory, when we are transcending ahead of the topology at present, and when we will be reaching at the self-referral domains, when we will be reaching at the life phenomenon, when we will be reaching at the existence phenomenon of the solar universe, when we will be reaching at the existence phenomenon with the human body, and we will be reaching at how the universe rejuvenates itself, how it renews itself, how the lifespans are in a cycles from life, birth, from life, death, and the life, birth, death, and life, seed, tree, and seed, and the first generation to the next generation of seeds. In how long, in how many generations of the seeds that those particular original format stands retained, and how and when and at what level and in what way and what degree and in what transformation those particular inner format, inner DNA starts transforming. How after how many generations the seed transits and transforms into a next DNA format. Anyway, we shall sit comfortably. We shall start melting our mental states because of a linear order, then to a spatial order, then to a solid order, creator's order, transcendental order, and self-referral order, which will be taking us at a unity state. It will be taking us to origin of the sun, origin of a sixth space, which is a pole star. Once we will be reaching up till that particular stage of a unity state, which will be taking us to pole star in the role of an origin of our universe, then it is only thereafter that natural order will come into play. And once the natural order comes into play, only then we will be going to the Brahman and Parabrahma order. And here one can recapitulate that when the numbers values being availed are only of 0, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Then one will see these quadruple values 7, 8, 9 and 10. This is hypercube 9. It is here that 7 space is playing the role of origin, and this is the origin of 6 space. Therefore, the real mathematics, real attainment, the actual attainment, the potentiality of the Ganita Sutras, the mathematical domain, the meant for the purpose for which this mathematics is there, it is to work with H9, hypercube 9. Now imagine a universal set of the points, elements, which are having structures of hypercube 9. Each point which can sequentially unfold itself up to the order, values, format, features of H9. So 9 space body. We are making a universe, a universal set whose each element, whose each point is of the order of hypercube 9. So it is the universe, it is that set which is a set of the elements of hypercube 9. 9 space bodies together are constituting and making and available a particular set for us. We will be working upon it, and its origin is going to be 10, and it is going to be a Parabrahm. It is here where the Vedic mathematics takes us to. It is here where up till which the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology have to expose themselves. It is here up till which one is to develop one's intelligence field. It is once the intelligence field is of the order of hypercube 9 universal set, it is only thereafter that consciousness base of that intelligence mind, of that intelligence field, will be actually bringing us face to face with Brahman. It will be bringing us face to face with our existence phenomenon. It would be the attainment. It is the attainment for which we have to sequentially arrange the mathematical tools. Therefore, blissful exercise, actual exercise, exercise number 1 for the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology is to sequence the mathematical tools being availed by the text of Ganita Sutras. Thank you very much.